Greetings. I don't know if you could hear that sound, but it's raining like crazy outside. I will be back, I think like 8 days from now on Monday. And sorry I can't do live streams until then, but I don't have enough bandwidth to do so while I'm down here in Florida. I did a bunch of yard work yesterday. I got stung twice in the back by wasps when I opened up the shed in the backyard to look for some yard cleaning tools. I made a video about 6 days ago, and I kind of make them on regular intervals called What's Going On, and I get huge responses. And the videos are not monetized, so I don't make a single dime off of them, but I love reading the comments. The comments on the last video were kind of intense in an emotional way, and I'm not a person that's swayed towards emotions at all, but I do read every comment, and some of the comments moved me emotionally. And I freely admit that, and I don't apologize for that, but you know, people, of course, obviously so, are extremely sick of what's going on, and people want to get together and connect and talk to one another, and I enjoy people actually reading other comments and talking with other people, and people are, of course, repulsed by the misery that's going on in the world. I mean, life is, difficult in a normal circumstance because you struggle to pay the bills, and I do too. I mean, that's the only reason I came to Florida, is because I got a stupid $1,400 stimulus check from the evil government, and that's, of course, just a little bit of my taxpayer money coming back to me, kind of, in a roundabout fashion. So, just down here cheap, living cheap, and buying exotic fruit. My God, these are awesome. These pitayas are basically a yellow dragon fruit. Oh my God, these are so good. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because nature and humanity will not tolerate injustice and an unnatural condition for very long. I'm not, an extremely, I don't know if you're like that, but I kind of find people that are overtly positive, for ridiculous reasoning, like, oh, stiff upper lip, I know you got terminal cancer, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not a fan of people like that, because they're not thinking rationally, and that sort of thinking doesn't really help people, and especially people that are in a bad way. And right now I'm in a good place in Florida where sanity is ruling the roost, if you will, in a good way. In most places. I mean, if you still go into, someplace like Costco, and I hate to admit that I go into places like that, but, I got my favorite cheese there, and it's cheap. They still have face diaper regimes and many, many retail stores, especially if they're social justice warrior places like Trader Joe's. I specifically said Trader, not Trader. And, so insanity still rules down here. People, I notice, and I know you notice this too, are getting programmed into submission. A bug, an invisible bug, has never been and never will be a premise to surrender my freedoms or your freedoms. Anybody with a half a freaking brain knows this, and that's what you are sick over, and that's what I'm sick over, disgusted with it. People with half a brain want this BS to stop, and anybody with a half a brain knows that 95% of what's going on in the world, and I know different things are going on in different places. Apparently it's really brutal, from what people tell me, you tell me. It's really brutal in New Zealand and Ireland and Denmark. I keep hearing about Denmark from people that actually live there. I don't really know the full extent of it, but I mean, that's what they tell me. But anybody with a half a brain knows that 95% of what's going on is due to filthy politicians, and it's not due to an invisible bug. It's not, you know, to wreck people's lives and ruin their businesses and destroy their families and beat them into pathetic submission and make premises for other people to surrender their freedoms. It has nothing to do with an invisible bug. It has to do with insane, irrational, and unnatural, evil politicians. And that's not politics, because I hate politics. It's just a statement of fact. So, but anyway, I enjoy reading your comments on this. And the reason why these videos, essentially they're all called, you know, What's Going On, where I get so many comments and people, and I do read every comment, regardless of the video. But I especially enjoy reading the comments under these videos. You know, the last one moved me. A lot of the comments were very moving. And of course everybody with a half a brain knows that everybody's sick of this nonsense. I mean, I'm sick of it and you're sick of it. And look I'm in Florida, where basically everybody's moving to Florida. There's no homes for sale here because everybody's getting the heck out of California and New York and New Jersey and other places to come to Florida. You know, they're sick of, you know, their rights being repressed, and they're not going to put up with it. Human beings work just like fields do, and that is pressure mediation. You know, you squeeze something, it's going to go somewhere else. It's kind of like if you have a balloon full with water, you know, if you squeeze in the middle, it's just going to bulge on either end. People are the same way. Everything operates off of pressure mediation. Everything does, including human beings. And but nature won't tolerate injustice like this for very long. It never has. And so even though I generally don't like people that are like, oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, cheer up, it's all gonna be better tomorrow. I don't really like people like that. Stating unequivocally that you know, it can't go on for much longer. People that have half a brain won't tolerate it. But I see a lot of people are getting programmed and beat into submission, mentally and otherwise, and that's not a good thing. So, but no microscopic, invisible organism has ever been, or ever should be, a basis for people to surrender their freedoms. That's my personal position, but it's also too illogical and a wise one. You may disagree. If you do, voice your disagreement below. So, I'm going to cut another one of these open. These are so good. I don't know if they're that good for me. It's supposed to be full of vitamin C. They're so good. Pitayas or golden dragon fruit. Oh my God, these are good. So, I'll be reading your comments below. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.